So we're doing a hamstring focused leg day. I do 2 parts to my leg day, about 4 hours apart. I understand that's not realistic for everyone, but it's ideal for hypertrophy if you can kind of separate it, because there's so much volume required for leg days at this point. Again, I'm an advanced lifter. If I was a beginner, you can do this in an hour, hour and a half session, but leg days are particularly grueling. They're heavy compound movements. Things like your quad, they burn up a lot of fuel when you're training. What do I mean by that? Quads are capable of generating a lot of force. If you think about them, they're like an airplane jet. They just burn up a tremendous amount of gasoline, where something like a Prius, it conserves a lot of energy. That might be like your bicep. Something like a quad, it's very intensive in terms of how fatiguing it is. So I try to separate my hamstrings from my quads. This session today, we're going to be doing 8 to 9 sets of glutes and hamstrings. And surprisingly enough, exercise number 1 is going to be for my glutes. It's actually going to be a hip thruster for machine. I prefer the machine because it's easier to set up. I hate setting up a barbell for hip thrusters. So I love this machine because it's easy to set up. First thing we're going to do is we're going to do some warm-up sets of hip thrusters, and then we're going to get into working sets. I really only count this as volume for my glutes. Then I'm going to do something for my bicep femoris, that nice sweep of the hamstring, the lower part that connects to the calf, that gives it that round shape. That's the next thing I'm going to do. It's going to be a leg curl. I'm going to do it from a plank position on a lying leg curl machine, and then I'm going to end with some Smith machine good mornings, which are also, again, going to get my hamstrings and a little bit of glute from there. So glute, hamstring focused, first session of a 2-day session in leg training. So this is the hip thruster machine. It's called a booty builder. I really prefer the glute drive by Nautilus more than this, but I don't have access to it. Can't load a lot of weight on this. This is a warm-up set, so this will be light. I'll probably get to 4.5 plates on this today. I haven't been able to do this movement as often as I want in my rotation, just because I've been crazy busy. I can maintain my glute by squatting. I can maintain my glutes by doing hinge patterns. So if I have to drop an exercise out of my selection, it's this one in particular, again, because I really only want to use the Nautilus glute drive or the booty builder, because I don't want to take the time to set up for a glute bridge. Ideally though, if you want to progress your lifts, you have to week over week train the exercise. So I'm starting up with a warm-up set on this booty builder. Hips nice and high. The high part is what matters. Great, that's my first warm-up set. We'll go to a second warm-up set, and then we'll do a potentiate set, which is where I'm close to working set, or close to my working weight that we're going to use today. So that's my first warm-up. We'll take about a 2-minute break and load some more weight on the bar. Okay, I got my seatbelt on. This is warm-up set number 2, so I've moved up to 3 plates from 1.5 plates for this. I'm gonna get sub 5 reps. So my first warm-up, I get 8 to 10 reps, just warming up my body, making sure nothing hurts, making sure my technique, my setup is proper. On this one, I already know my technique. I already know that my body feels good. I'm a little bit warmed up, and I already know that the machine is set up properly for me. So on this one, like 5 reps. Again, want to get high with this exercise. What I can tell you from that is I feel very strong today. So I'll probably put another plate on for my potentiate set. It's like a 3rd warm-up. And then today, I'll probably try to do 4 plates and a quarter for 10 reps. Normally I progress my weights week over week because I'm keeping them in a note and an Excel, so I know exactly what I'm doing. But again, I've had a couple weeks where I haven't been able to do this exercise. I hit a PR the last couple times. I did 4 plates and a 35 for 6. I've done 4 plates and a 25 for 8, and I've done 4 plates for a 10. I think today I'll hit a lifetime PR of 4 plates and a 25 for 10. Okay, so another 2-minute break. Last technical warm-up. This is a potentiate set. I'll get like 3 repetitions. I just want to prime myself for lifting this heavier weight. Great. And now we'll start working into working sets. I'm going to do 3 working sets. Again, my goal is to get 10 reps with 4.5 plates on the machine. Okay, we did 3 warm-up sets. We've been here for about 10 minutes, and this is going to be our first working set. I'm aiming for 10 repetitions, which is a lifetime PR for me. Then I'm gonna try to duplicate that for a total of 3 sets, 3 by 10 booty builder. Exercise number 1 in our hamstring glute leg focus. I got 9 reps. I could have got 1 more, but I settled for the 9 because it's a PR, and I know I can duplicate it for 3 more rounds. So I use my iWatch whenever I train. I'll set the sucker for a 3-minute break, come back and I'll do 2 more rounds on 9 reps, which is still a lifetime PR. Just try to train very calculated, very intelligently. I like to get my PRs in and move forward. It's not just a session, it's a marathon. So every time I come in, I train very intensely, but I'm thinking about the next training session, the next meso cycle, and continually progressing my lifts. Lifetime PR, 2 more sets to go. Okay, 3.5 minute break, set 2, 9 reps again. Third set will be very hard. 3 working sets of booty builder. Now we're on to lying leg curl. And I'm gonna do these from a plank position. Reason is we're at a commercial gym right now, and a traditional leg curl like this, I can do more reps than I want to with the full stack. So I like to train, when I train bicep femoris or any sort of leg curl position for the hamstring, I like to get my reps between like 8 and 10, somewhere in there in general. So this will allow me to mechanically make the exercise more difficult because I'll get a deeper stretch at the top end position. So I'm essentially gonna make myself a plank where shoulders are higher, hips are higher, ankle, and that's going to allow me to make this mechanically more challenging. 2 minutes so far. Like I said, I time my rest breaks on my own iPhone watch so I can talk to my friends while I'm training, so I can listen to music, so I can just zone out and just look at my clock instead of having to like constantly look up and figure out what time it is. So 3-minute break for this one. The other 2 breaks are gonna be 2 minutes, doing 3 working sets of lying leg curls, and then we're gonna get into the Smith machine and do some good mornings and finish out hamstring glute oriented leg day. Here I am, I'm in that plank position, and then I hold on. Reset my timer. 2-minute break. So you noticed I was in control of the rep the entire time. I wasn't having to swing the leg up. A lot of times when people do leg curls, they're just using momentum. They're flinging it. So they're initiating with their hamstring, maybe with some momentum, but that mid-range of motion, that end range of motion, they swung it up. Or they've swung it up so much that they only having to do work at the very shortened part when the leg curls in at the very end, because momentum carried them through the lengthened position at the bottom, through the mid position, and then they only had to squeeze the top. I want my hamstring to work through the entire strength curve of the exercise, so I'm in control. So I'm doing it nice and slow, control of the entire range of motion. I'm gonna catch my breath for the next minute, and then we're gonna do working set number 2. 3 sets, 2-minute breaks. And I should probably get 10 or less reps on this next one. I got 11 on my first one. 2-minute rest, here we go. Working set number 2, same thing. In that plank position, same amount of weight, probably 10 or less reps. Oh yeah. Big stretch at the bottom, control at the top. Nine reps. Throughout the whole of that, I could have stopped anywhere in the rep range, meaning I could have pulled it up, stopped here, pull it up, stop here, pull it up, squeeze at the top. I want to be in control of the entire rep. Set my timer again. Another 2-minute rest break. I only got 9 reps there. I didn't even attempt the 10th because I just knew I could feel it. That was it. Little break, then we go again. 2-minute break, at least 8 reps here. And again, maintain that form. Nine reps again. Not really great set. That's it. Now we're doing Smith machine. I'll probably do 265, 6 to 8 reps on this last one. Go a little heavy on my good mornings. Goal is, this is the end of this mesocycle. It's my last session for this training period. But my goal is next training period to work up to 275 for 10 reps on Smith machine good mornings, which is our final exercise. So far we've done 3 sets booty builder, 3 sets lying leg curl. We're 6 sets in to glutes and hamstrings. We got 3 sets left to good morning, glutes and some hamstring. Okay. First set, Smith machine good mornings. Took about a 3-minute break between my last leg curl and this exercise. Really gonna focus on a big stretch, full range of motion with this movement, getting down as deep as I can. Don't think about going down. Don't think about going down like this. Think about pushing my hips back as far as I can so my weight's on my heels, okay? I like the Smith machine because it's stable, puts a little emphasis on my lower back, but I do want to keep my lower back tight the entire time. It should feel nice and stiff and engaged the entire time, because once your back rounds, that's when you're going to have a problem with an exercise like this. Do not consider this a beginner exercise. It's definitely if you're intermediate or more advanced, but it's very effective if you're advanced, because something like an RDL, I'm going to have to really be relying on my grip, whereas this, it's all going to my hips and my hamstrings. This is my first working set, but I want to show you a tip. See how the hook is hooked this way? The intention is for me to use this Smith machine this way. So if the hooks are out that way, it's intended for me to go like this when I squat, or in this case, when I good morning. Get hips back, nice under control. See how easy that was to rack that way? So again, if the hooks are like this, I should be facing out, not like this when using the Smith machine. Okay, this is our third working set of Smith machines. This is our final one, then we're done for the day. We've done 9 sets of hamstring and glute focus. Same thing here, 7 repetitions, controlled eccentric, full range of motion. Stand in front of the Smith machine, almost the bar. Feet out a little bit. And that is it for today. Took me about 50 minutes to get 9 sets in. Again, I break it up. If you're new to training, you could probably all get this done in an hour and a half. I just really care. It's a huge major portion of my life. But if career or family, you don't have to break up leg day. This is just more optimal by splitting the training sessions 4 hours apart. It's not for everybody. If not, I'll do another leg day with a client where I'll show you a combined leg day. But this is how I train. I train hamstrings or quads first, a little bit of glutes with the hamstrings. And either way, I come back 4 hours later and train the other muscle group. And I do that as a 1-day training split for my leg days. So if you like what you see, please hit like, please hit subscribe. Thanks guys, love all the support. If you're not following me on Instagram, follow me there. That's where I got my start. And now we're doing weekly content here on YouTube.